Call of Duty 20 Modern Warfare 2 2 released. No, not Modern Warfare 2 remastered, but Modern Warfare 2 2 2022. The problem with COD is that it's released every single year, so it's just so overly saturated and repetitive. But Infinity Ward has actually tried to do something somewhat new in both campaign and multiplayer. New in asterisks. They've been the best developer of COD since 2019 after falling off when COD Ghost released, but I still don't think it's reached the heights of the original Modern Warfare trilogy, but that's just me. I've played 24 hours, so I think I'm ready to just drop my thoughts and hopefully be a little different from everyone else who says campaign's alright and multiplayer's alright, so it's a 12 out of 10. You know what I mean? Modern Warfare 2's campaign really does just copy the original Modern Warfare 2 with a less interesting story but with a much more grounded tone. Gone are the over-the-top Michael Bay action set pieces and in are slow-paced stealth missions. Honestly, this is basically a stealth game with how many stealth missions there are. So the story attempts to be grounded, but you can still run around and, run and shoot throughout the campaign, popping headshots and blowing enemies up with grenades, etc. The gameplay attempts to take those slow missions like Clean House from Modern Warfare 2019 and drop them in Modern Warfare 2 while giving you a lot more freedom to tackle them, and I really liked it. Those slow moments are really the highlights. Enemies will hide, duck, scream and charge you in an attempt to get the upper hand, so those missions can actually get pretty intense. Infinity Ward takes this further by being the first COD in over a decade to actually try something new. There's a couple missions where you lose your weapons and have to rely on exploring your environment to find materials to craft items, and I just did not expect that going into a COD campaign. It was pretty great despite how basic it was and got me thinking about what COD could be if they just stripped it down from its basic gameplay and let developers actually get creative. It could be something great. Other than those few standout missions, it really is just your standard campaign with some incredible visuals and presentation along with some incredible sound design and voice acting. There is something new around every corner when it comes to gameplay. There are set pieces. There was one that really stuck out when you're jumping between the vehicles, but that was way too long. It overstayed its welcome. That being said, the original Modern Warfare games has something that these new ones can't compare to, and that thing is emotion. Spoilers here for the campaign. Skip to the multiplayer if you don't want spoilers. Okay, you're gone. Good, sure. Good. Spoilers, 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 spoilers. Spoilers! There's spoilers! Don't comment down, there's spoilers! There's spoilers! Okay, so the campaign is good, but it lacks any emotion and stakes. The story is basically 3 missiles go missing and a group thinks it's this bald dude and we hunt him down, but it turns out it's Shepard actually trying to cover up a mission that went wrong and, the usual stuff. It's literally the second game with a slightly more grounded story and it's far worse than the original. The stakes aren't there, no one in your group dies, no one comes close to dying. General Shepard is that bald guy from Transformers, like, why cast him? He's like the most basic casting choice you could for a general. He was in Transformers. It's so basic. I don't like it at all. I hate him. General Shepard is just really bad here. He's nothing like the original and is just a boring military dude. Gone is the charismatic general that you'd follow orders from and trust with your life and then gets betrayed. That's gone, which just makes the twist so much worse because you could see it coming. Even if you hadn't played the original Modern Warfare 2, you could see it coming from a mile away. It's just so obvious. No one dies. No one's surprised. Nothing memorable really happens in this campaign. Let me just mention some of the characters that die or end in new situations in Modern Warfare 2 2009. Roach dies, Ghost dies, General Shepard dies, that one guy in No Russian dies, Captain Price is stuck in the gulag for most of the game and then gets out and then pretty much causes World War III and is an international criminal. Speaking of World War III, World War III starts! World War III starts again in Modern Warfare 2. No one dies in this 2022 version, the stakes are just not high enough. Well, I mean the main bad guy dies, the bald dude, and then the guy who betrays you, the military dude. I don't even know their names. It's just boring characters, man. The stakes just aren't there, and it's not a personal story wrapped in a coat of war. That's what made the original Modern Warfare game so, I guess, emotional. There was some personal stakes to it. And the ending, oh my god, guys. Everyone remembers the ending from Modern Warfare 2. The over-the-top helicopter chase, the 1v1 Price and Shepard had, throwing that knife into his eye, like, that's just memorable. The music as well. The stakes were there. The characters had personal issues interlinked into it all. The writing was just really good. It was a terrific campaign, but 2022, it's just okay. It just ends so abruptly and then just drops the ending scene like, hey, we're going to do Makarov again. And honestly, I don't care. Great, you're doing a retread of another story from an old COD game and you're probably going to do it worse. I'm not hyped for that, but that's just me. But yeah, the gameplay of the campaign, yeah, it's definitely one of the better CODs out there. I'm not gonna shit on the gameplay. The story itself was kind of boring for me, but the gameplay was pretty great. There's a good mix of stealth and then action, and while there's more stealth than action this time around, I did like that. It made everything feel more grounded, but once again, they just lost the stakes, and the stakes is important to Call of Duty campaigns now, because everyone expects like a big bombastic story, and I'm not saying you've got to do it, but there's got to be stakes, and there just wasn't any here. No one dies, there's no risk, there's no emotional moments, there's nothing, so yeah, that's what I think. I know a lot of you love the campaign, but for me, it was just very disappointing apart from 1 or 2 missions. So yeah, I'd say it's another COD campaign, but it's one of the better COD campaigns of the newer games, but let me know what you think. So what hasn't changed is multiplayer. Multiplayer is just more COD with less movement than before, which is good to some and bad to others. I personally really like the slower pace, but it's far from perfect. Some weapons are clearly more overpowered than others. Most of the maps outside of the beta ones are pretty badly designed with way too much clutter, and the progression, while a nice change of pace, is very confusing for newer players. There are only 13 maps at launch, some of which are locked to specific game modes, which honestly is not great. It's not the worst map pool ever, but I really expected more, especially with the amount of development time they had, as well as how badly designed some of them are. Most of the maps are all over the place. You peek one corner and now you're exposed to 4 other corners, so it's like a game of chess. You make a move and hope to God the enemies are dumbasses and rush in, but that's just not the case. The maps cater to campers. Now, I'm not going to sit here and insult you for camping, but I'm really starting to think the developers of COD just don't stand a chance when it comes to the player base. This COD has really fun gameplay, but it's ruined by the players. They choose to camp rather than actually learning the movement, the new movement. There isn't much to it, but there's still movement in it, and people are refusing to learn it. They just want to sit in corners, and that's okay. You play the way you want to play. It seems like everyone is camping in corners like it's CSGO or Rainbow Six Siege. Guns are pretty great though. You have a ton of customization, but figuring out how to actually unlock the customization options is really confusing, which isn't helped by the worst user interface I've ever seen in a Call of Duty game. I don't understand why they have to keep making it more complicated. The original user interface for like Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops, perfect. Just do that again. No one really cares about UI that much, as long as it works, as long as it's, simple. We don't want you to innovate on UI, Call of Duty. We don't want that. We want you to innovate in gameplay and, campaigns and all of that stuff. Not UI, just keep it the fucking same. The UI is dog shit, that's all I have to say about that. But yeah, the customization is really cool. There's a lot of weapons to choose from. There's lots of gadgets. The kill streaks are there. The perk packages, I don't like the way the new perk system is. The perk system sucks. Do not like the perk system at all. There's a lot of crashes though. There's a lot of crashes in the multiplayer. It's really not a good experience right now. The gameplay itself is great fun, but there's just so much holding it back. 1, campers. 2, performance issues, especially on PC with crashes. 3, lots of bugs. 4, the UI kind of sucks. 5, there aren't many maps, and the ones that do exist are kind of shit. Then you've got Warzone coming out in a couple days, so everyone's gonna, well, not a couple days, couple weeks, and they're gonna ditch multiplayer altogether, which, isn't great. And all in all, I really just don't have a lot to say about the multiplayer. It's just another COD with the same issues as last year and the same gameplay as last year, only there's less movement. I'm really bored of talking about Call of Duty. The only time I'm going to be hyped about talking about Call of Duty is when I review the old games, which I'm going to do, by the way. So yeah, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2022 is the best COD to release within the last 3 years. He has a good campaign, lacking emotion, and the multiplayer is just a return to what originally worked. 7 out of 10. Warzone comes out in 2 weeks, so who cares? Goodbye. Thanks for watching. Keep it classic.